Hello, LinkedIn. Whoa, that was some background noise, but I am so excited to bring these ladies to you. We were gabbing, and on someone's stage, and I was like, oh my goodness, we need to go live. So I am so honored to have these amazing ladies, and we're going to be talking about how to find your tribe. You know, I find that the more people I connect with via LinkedIn, via just like different communities, the more the bigger my network grows, and the bigger just the amount of people that I have in my life that I can share with, that also share the same experiences, some of the same journey, and even the unique perspectives that are different than mine that I can learn from. And I think it's such a powerful thing. Just like, you know, guys went from the golf course to the boardroom. I think that in order to really impact change, we have to have tribes of women and all different types of people elevate each other. And I think that's so important. So thank you so much for joining us. Let us know where you're joining from. We always love to have like live interaction. And then remember, we're also in Clubhouse with the watch party with Lydia over there. So in case you do want to talk about it, like yell at the screen.
Listen.
That's what Lydia does.
Right. A listen party.
A listen party. Well, she's watching.
That's fair.
Because there's sound. I don't know.
We're gonna
figure it out.
We're gonna watch, learn, and listen.
By the time I'm going to be able to watch Clubhouse so hard.
Oh, look. And there she's commenting. Okay. Live on Clubhouse too. You're going to hear the live event conversation in both places. See that? So when she would typically be yelling at the screen saying, Jen, stop saying you're sorry. Instead, she can talk to some people and say, Jen says she's sorry too much. Because that's our constant comment. She always says, Jen, stop saying you're sorry. So let me introduce these amazing ladies. In case you don't know them, we're going to go one by one and sort of have that open conversation. If you haven't joined this ladies happy hour before, we just sort of have an open conversation, but everyone's going to have an opportunity to share how they find their tribe. Okay, Joyce, you were up first, lady.
Well, when I was in corporate America, I found my tribe through engaging and participating in organizations and groups, raising my hand to volunteer for things. And I would find people that way. And also always have been able to find people through LinkedIn and networking events. Now you fast forward to COVID, and I think I put this on my my LinkedIn, is that now I need a different type of tribe. I need someone to sort of walk in the same path that I am. So although I still need that support from my they're not previous, they're still friends, forgive me, from my friends, I need to find a tribe and that was very difficult in COVID. But I've been fortunate to find, people like you ladies who've embraced me on LinkedIn, and not just connect via email once or twice, but actually, comment and send inbox, send a little, instant direct message, whatever we do on LinkedIn. And then we are supporting one another's platforms. And that's really been helpful for me. So I've been able to build that new tribe. And I would say really, and now on Clubhouse, I'm building some new relationships as well. But it's really been here on this LinkedIn platform.
Yeah, and I would agree with that. I mean, I think I've met a lot of people over at Clubhouse. And what's interesting is I think that transition from taking that conversation from Clubhouse and then finding people on LinkedIn and then interacting with them there and sort of growing your network that way has been super valuable since Clubhouse came out. Any of you other ladies on Clubhouse sort of doing that? How has your experience been with that? No?
No,
all right.
I love it. I love Clubhouse and engagement. I tell you too, since I've been looking for speakers for the annual conference and companies to be sponsors, a lot of people have, reached out to me and wanting to promote their brand as a part of the co-marketing project for the conference. So that's been really wonderful as well. Try it, ladies. I'll send you an invite.
Yes,
Yeah.
I actually just started just playing around with it, honestly, because of you, Jen. And I have a couple of other friends who have their own businesses and are entrepreneurs, and they rave about it. So I'm definitely starting to join certain rooms and listen. But because of you and you keep promoting, I'm like, okay, I'm obviously missing out on something. So I better join. I have like that FOMO. So I definitely am gonna, get more into it and learn more about it.
Yeah, no, and it's amazing opportunity to just sort of follow people that you may have been connected with, but never had an opportunity to talk to, right? So I find that there are some people that I just like follow sort of religiously because I always appreciate their insights, right? And we're all busy. Like life just fills up. We've got work, we've got whatever going on. And like being able to pop in and see when they're online and then just hop into that same room has been like just a game changer for me for being able to meet some of those people that I've been just dying to meet. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
I mentioned to you
Hannah.
ladies before we hopped on, I love
Yeah.
the global aspect of it as well. Like I shared with Hannah, if I can push myself to wake up like at 3:30, I try to do it once a week. Then I hop on this one show called 9 a.m. in London, and I love it.
Yeah.
What time did you say?
9 a.m. in London.
So what time is that for you? I'm terrible with time zones.
I think it's like 3 a.m. my time, but they're on for a couple of hours. Yes. Is that right, Hannah? Am I correct? Because Hannah's in London. It was late for her.
You're right. Yeah. So I'm just outside of London in Essex. For those of you guys who haven't heard me or seen one of my many videos across any platform, I'm Hannah Ajikawa. I'm the founder and director of Growth Mode, a small boutique consultancy just inside London, primarily working with startups. And as somebody who started a business from scratch, that just before COVID, like finding a tribe has probably the only reason why I can still kind of maintain my business, right? And kind of grow it to where I've got paying customers. So it's been Clubhouse and LinkedIn have literally been the lifeblood of finding tribes. And the way in which I've gone about doing that is really just thinking about, so staying true to myself, being as authentic as I can to say, if I am just me and I am always talking about the things that I am trying to do, that, showing my values, articulating what I stand for, then I'm only going to attract the people that are aligned to that. And what I have found coming outside of a corporate environment is that sometimes we're a little bit hesitant to kind of really find our tribe. So we kind of secretly like something on LinkedIn, but we may not shout and scream about it. So when we do have an opportunity to kind of go in the DMs, we're like, okay, now I can just express, oh my God, I really love that. I love what you said. So using, platforms like Clubhouse, where I've got Power to the Salespeople Club, I'm also co-admin to Power to the Procurement People Club. And I run a 15-minute energy boosting session every morning. And it's literally to connect with people, network, come on stage. So for those people who are a little bit shy, it's usually a small intimate room. So they can come in and find their tribe and connect with new people. And for me, a big part of finding a tribe is just putting yourselves in uncomfortable situations briefly. And then you find out, actually, yeah, everybody's pretty much as weird as I am. And then you're all good. So that's kind of what I found over the last year, where I've been really intentional about finding my tribe.
Yeah, I love that. And I love the smaller rooms too. Like the smaller rooms just feel a lot more intimate, and you get to meet more people that way. Some of the larger rooms, I just always drop in to the LinkedIn Mastery one, right? And it's just so big. And so I'll get some interesting insights and all of that. But for me, that ability to, in the smaller rooms, to actually meet multiple people and get different insights, I think is just amazing. I mean, at the beginning of the pandemic, I was really into communities, right? Like every sales community that was out there, it was for me. I was going to try them all. And the funny thing is, at the end of the day, I only kept a small portion, but I kept all the people, all the people that I really resonated with. And of course, then I bring more people that I'm really interested in on LinkedIn Live. And so that helps me also build my tribe. So I think there's definitely a lot of value in Clubhouse. It is only for iPhone right now. I'm really, really hoping that they come out with that Android soon, because I feel like it's eliminating part of that potential, connections, right? And kind of offending some Android people along the way. But thank you so much for joining us. It is so late in the UK.
Oh, I know, guys. I'm secretly napping, like, inside my mind. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm here. I'm present.
Are you a night owl?
I've got a 3-year-old who decides when I go to sleep. So this is nothing.
Oh, yeah. No, I get it. So Heidi, it is your turn. Heidi, we connected that one phone call, and I was like, man, you're so great. And I'm excited to have you join us. Congrats on your new job.
Thank you.
Recently started a new position. So excited for you. So tell us a little bit about yourself and how you find your tribe.
Yeah, so thank you. And thank you for having me on this panel. It's an awesome panel. So yes, I just recently got promoted to be VP over sales development for Avalara. Incredible company, incredible culture. I'm having a blast. But when it comes to finding my tribe, honestly, it has always come down to what I need in my life in that season. So, I think back to like my 20s, right out of college, I was honestly just looking for role models, like just people I could look up to that had skills I didn't have. And it sort of evolved, right? So then once I got married and had kids, now I'm a mom of 2 teenage girls. So I really have built my tribe and looked for my tribe in all areas. So Facebook, honestly, I started there, in terms of virtual connections years and years ago. I had started my own business and was doing virtual coaching as an entrepreneur. So I truly built my business from Facebook. Believe it or not. Then I started kind of evolving into Instagram. And I always had a LinkedIn presence because I've been in corporate America for so many years. So I sort of have all 3 of those areas that I've built my tribe. But I always kind of broke it down into 5 different areas. And I call it the 5 Fs. So these are the things in my life that I need people around me for. So faith. I always need people who are really strong in their faith to remind me that kind of like give it to God when I feel like I just can't control things anymore. So I always look for people who are very faithful. Fun. I am not naturally spontaneous. So I really have to have people surrounding me who are funny and silly and joyful and kind of get me out of my comfort zone so I can go have fun and, like you're saying, have a cocktail. Fitness. So especially during this past year, having accountability from people who are awesome with health and fitness, I wouldn't do it if it wasn't for them pushing me and keeping me accountable for my own health. Family, being married, I've been married for 19 years and been with my husband for 24 years. And obviously it's not always easy, right? So having people in my life who help me strengthen my marriage, and then also being a mom of teenage girls. So I'm always looking for people who seem to have it together more than me to give me advice. And then the last thing is future. So future, I think of that as my career. So who is doing the job that I'm doing right now so I can learn from them? Who's doing the job that I want in the future so I can learn from them? And the skills that they have that I don't have. So when I think about like the 5 Fs, I think about like at times, who don't I have in my life that I need to find as that mentor to sort of like keep me well-rounded. So that's really what I do in terms of looking for my tribe and building it.
Well, that's amazing. And you took so many different avenues, which I think is really interesting. And definitely that part about like the people you need in a certain season, I think really resonated with me. Because I remember there was a point in my life where I tried to be a stay-at-home mom. And like, just like everything else, just like this lady's happy, I go all in. Like I don't do anything halfway. Right. Mm-hmm. So I had a mom's group with play dates and a website and I like everything. Like, let me do all the things because I want to find other moms and I'm going to like find them wherever they are. There I am trolling the parks with flyers and finding all the moms. And it was interesting. I found a great group, but over time as kids grow up and people start having different interests and people move, you sort of lose that group, even though they were so special to me during that time. And absolutely what I needed then, ladies like yourselves are sort of what I need now to sort of propel my career, but also to learn from and see where I could level up and do better. So that is so interesting.
Definitely. I would also say too that, like, for example, one of the things that I was seeking out to kind of build that tribe and that support was more personal. And I can't necessarily find that always on LinkedIn. So like Facebook has specific groups, like I have a daughter who has a chronic illness and it's very, very specific. So, I mean, I am in a group of 10,000 parents that have kids that have what my daughter has. And I wouldn't be able to give her what she needs without that support. They teach me, like, try this, have patience, have faith. And that support group, I mean, I think of them as a huge part of my tribe because they're working moms, they're entrepreneurs, they're in corporate America, they're leaders. And to balance, it's hard enough to be married, right, and be a working mom, but then to have a child who struggles every day with their health is not easy. So that support is huge. So I think every platform kind of has their different things that they offer, and it's important to know what you're looking for and how to connect with that platform.
Yeah, no, that's a really good point. That is a really great point. Now, we need to get to some of these comments.
Yeah, Lynn says she's looking for a code. Lynn, if you inbox me your contact information, because I have to load you into my phone, I will send you an invite. I'm Joyce, Joyce Johnson. I'll send you an invite.
I have some too. So if there's anyone else who needs a code,
I have some too.
Please, please go ahead and reach out to us, because I think most of us probably who are on Clubhouse have like invites.
Yep.
So we've got some like people you went to middle school with. Yeah, I mean, I kept some of the people around that I went to school with in my younger days. We've got someone who got kicked out and had to join from the beginning. I don't know. If you're having a problem with LinkedIn Live, I am also live on YouTube, or you can join us in Clubhouse where folks are listening and sort of yelling at us. But on YouTube, Sales 911 is my YouTube channel, and you can actually find us there as well. And that is a little bit more consistent, but I have like 11 followers over there. So, yes, Heidi, love this. You have to be willing to adjust your tribe based on the season you're in. And I agree. And Christine Whitehead is totally in my tribe. She is one of those people that if I am having a problem, that she's like, will always give me like sage advice. It's just one of those people that I can count on to sort of look at things from every angle. Because I have a tendency to, here's my angle, here's the perspective of one person, here's the perspective of another person. But Christine will bring a whole new perspective to it. So if you don't know Christine, you should definitely connect with her. And there's so many comments here. I don't think I can keep up with them all. But Tim's here. So he's from my team. Jill Clancy is here. So we've got lots of awesome folks that we all know and love joining us. So we want to listen, but can't participate, obviously new, so not certain how this works. Well, you can send comments and we will totally reply to them. Or you can join in Clubhouse where you can listen and interact with Lydia. But thanks for joining us. Always love to have new people. So that's great. And then someone saying, no pressure, Julie. And Julie, you are next.
Am I? May I take your order? I'm the only one with my nerdy headset on, but you guys sound so great in surround sound, I gotta tell you. Hi, everybody. Julie Calderoni. I have the pleasure of being able to work with Jen every single day. Jealous. No, but so happy to be a part of this. And yeah, this is something that I love this topic because I am a self-proclaimed hype woman extraordinaire. I have the customized cup to prove it from one of my very talented friends who crafts, Amanda Wilson. It's a Black-owned and women-owned business. And I love to support people. And so when it comes to finding my tribe, I often find that I feel like a curator sometimes. You know, you find certain people that you inspire, and some people that look to inspire you. And it's just this big, amazing firework. And it's not just about fixing, I feel like. It's also about, of course, it's about support. And I sort of love the idea of, I'm going to say the dirty word of selfishness, that sometimes focusing on yourself can do, because sometimes that selfishness really is key, especially when finding your tribe. And, there was one point of my life where it just totally hit me, as far as when I thought totally differently about the people I decided to surround myself with. And I have amazing women in my life. Amanda Wilson, who I mentioned. I have a friend, Mackenzie Smith. If you've seen the feta cheese tomato viral recipe, she's the creator of that, Grilled Cheese Social. And I was sitting back for a second. I have friends who are comedians and really successful business people. And I said, man, I really want to get on that level. Man, I'm not doing so hot. And I shook my head around and sort of rattled around the bolts and nuts that are in it. And I thought to myself, wow, instead of, having something that's self-deprecating, I need to realize I have such amazing, powerful women around me. And that in itself, I got a little goosebumps, honestly. That's the motivator. It's kind of, instead of sometimes going, where am I at? And what do I need? And how can I be fixed? Sort of realizing what you've curated around you and, applying that to yourself for a form of, motivation and support for one another, because it's a two-way street, right? And Hannah, I love it. I'm always trying to find my weirdos. I'm a hype woman extraordinaire, and I'm also a chronic DM slider. I will hype people all day. I love it. And I really think that's what it's about. And, sometimes it can be light and fun, and sometimes it can be dark and icky. And, sometimes just having that strength, we all wake up every single day, and you can make a choice to either be a person that sucks the life out of somebody, or you bring the watering can and you fulfill them. So, I might not be good with plants, but I feel like I'm pretty good with people when it comes to finding my tribe. So,
Julie, fun fact, tribe. Fun fact, Julie. Giving away the secret. Actually, most of you don't know this. From the age of 15, 16 through the age of 22, maybe, I was an actual hype man for parties. I was literally hired to go to parties and be the person who's like, let's get dancing, guys. Come on, let's get on the dance floor. It was so,
and you make it see that.
Give us 1 minute. I can teach you.
Can you do the worm? What was your go-to move? I have to know.
I can do the worm.
See,
backwards. I can't do it forward as much. Things get in the way sometimes, but
but sometimes you just need that hype, right? Sometimes you just need that pump up.
It wasn't necessarily a move for me. It was really that I was my thing was black and pink. I would wear black and pink, and I can get any old man or small child to get on the dance floor. 13-year-olds, not so much, but that's okay.
Exactly.
Well, and I think that's interesting, right? So there's a difference between finding your tribe, right? And then finding the tribe of people who actually cheer you on, right? We all know that there are people sometimes that don't cheer you on.
Yes.
And then there are people who cheer you on, who no matter what will cheer on other people. And so when I'm finding those people that I'm going to connect with, that I want to bring into my life and help them in any way and do things. And, I look for the people who will always cheer other people on. Mm-hmm. And I think that's super important. Julie is one of those people who always cheers everyone on, which I absolutely love about her. And what's funny is when I first brought up this topic to her, she, what were we talking about? That movie?
I brought up
Mean Girls.
Mean Girls. And you know, at
Yes.
the very end where you have the tiara and they break it in half and
Yeah.
you get a piece and you get a piece. Yeah. Yep. And that's what it's about, sharing it.
It's about the people who will like gladly share the crown, right?
Mhm.
Not the people who are gonna want to be like above anyone else, but like that are like, what can I do for you, and genuinely mean it. And I think that's just super important. Does anyone have any thoughts on that?
I think it's a great way to figure out who's genuine and who's not, because you could be the biggest cheerleader for people. If you're not surrounded by the right people, or if you're not in the right environment, or you're not in the right organization, and your energy and enthusiasm is misconstrued as being fake, and because I've dealt with that for years. I'm a very animated, outgoing person, and I cheer people on. I love making people feel good. I like the reaction. It makes me feel good. I like knowing that I had a dent in that I made somebody else even remotely happy, 1%. But if you're surrounded by the wrong people, which I was in corporate many times, it's perceived as being fake. And for the longest time, I would think that, well, maybe it is fake. Like, am I fake? Or, but then as I got older and I changed my environments many times, I realized that it wasn't me. It was just people can only meet you at the level that they're at, right? Like if you're here and they're trying to figure you out and they're here, like either they try to level up or you have to shrink down. And I used to shrink down. I won't shrink down anymore. So
yeah,
you're a cheerleader. If some people don't get it, it's not your problem. It's not your business. If they can't get it, they can't get it. You just keep doing you and be a cheerleader and be positive and enthusiastic.
Yeah, I get that resonates with me a lot. It's the people who want to put you in a box, right?
Yeah.
That like this is your box. You can't leave this box because this is how I define you.
I think one thing that's important as women is that we've got to stop measuring ourselves against, with other people. I think sometimes people really love you and they want to be genuinely happy for you, but there's this little niche of envy that causes them not to, because they, the grass is always greener, right? My best friend since 6th grade, I remember having conversations with her where I'm like, oh, wow, I wish I had that wonderful husband and beautiful son. And she's like, oh, wow, I wish I had your freedom and could travel everywhere. So we have to, I measure Joyce by Joyce's goals. And that's what we have to do.
I think the cheerleading thing, sorry, go for it. I was going to say the cheerleading thing, it's interesting. I look at when people are cheerleading because it's easy to be a cheerleader when everybody's doing great. Everybody's on the way to success. But on those days or months, sometimes years where it's not so great for you, how do you step up to still be a cheerleader and support those that have, kind of pulled you into their tribe? And I found, as I've been on a journey with various other entrepreneurs and also solopreneurs, where some of us have great months and sometimes others are like, oh my God, there's nothing going on. I've managed to find a set of people where we all still celebrate each other. And, these are the people that I speak to every day that I didn't even know a year ago. 6 months ago, half of them, I had no idea who they were. And that's how all of these networking platforms and communities, as Jen was talking about, every sales community, I'm going to try it out. I'm going to be there. Let's see, let's see who's there. Just going to put myself out there. You see who comes into your DMs and they're like, yep, yeah, you're the kind of person I want to be around. And it's like, perfect. And then you there you go, right? And then you're like, awesome. And now you end up talking to them every day. But that cheerleader piece is really about at what point you're stepping up to be a cheerleader. And if you can balance that with the times when you're not in the best position. And it's not easy, but it is about balance.
No, and I would agree with that. I mean, there were times where I was down. I went through a brutal job hunt, and Christine was there. Michelle was there. Like I just had an awful interview. The dude didn't even barely look at me. Like, like we're on Zoom and he didn't look at me. And then when he wasn't looking at me, or the times he stopped not looking at me, he turned his camera off entirely. So like he must have left, right? And like in those moments of especially something you really wanted, right? Who do you call that will lift you up, even if they're not 100% feeling their best? Who are the people you can legit count on? Because even if I'm not feeling my best, right? If someone calls me and they need help, I think of it as my kids do this thing at school called the bucket filler, right? That if you fill someone's bucket, it also fills up your bucket. But if you take from someone's bucket, you're also taking from your bucket. And it's something that they learn in school. So they give out like little awards for being bucket fillers. And my kids are known bucket fillers at their school. And I don't know how it happened over time, but you know, it's that everyday practice of lifting people up or trying to give rather than take. Or if you're giving, you're also receiving and like feeling that pleasure of helping someone else. I don't know. Eric had an interesting thing here. So it's hard to find your ride or die professional tribe, but once you found them, it's game changing. And I would agree. When you find your people like that, you know, that like you can count on, I think it's amazing. And I'm collecting more of those types of people every day. So I think it's so great. Did you ladies have any thoughts on that?
I love the buckets because it sort of reminds me of, you know, my cup runneth over, right? You know, so when your bucket runneth over, and I am another self-proclaimed word nerd, so I just quickly Googled the meaning of, you know, my cup runneth over, and it is I have more than enough for my needs. And that is the interpretation, the Hebrew interpretation of my cup runneth over. I love that. And I love that they're teaching the kids that with the buckets is that, you know, you've got to give to get. And, you know, that's great. So run those buckets over.
Well, and you went to the same school as my kids, right?
Garrison Jones. Garrison Jones Elementary.
That's how they've evolved. Isn't that a small world, right?
I'm a pioneer of the future. What can I say? I love that school.
And that's the thing. So that's their thing that they do at their school, at that school now, is that they encourage everyone every month to be bucket fillers. I think that's pretty cool.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah. So we've got some comments here. On Wednesdays, we wear pink. I love that. One Halloween, I actually had a whole group of people all wear pink. Ironically, Kim, who was Kimberly, who actually also knows Heidi, who was in the chat, was one of the mean girls wearing pink. So that's kind of funny. It's a small world.
Yeah.
It is a small world. Yeah. Grass is only green where you water it. That is so true. We've got lots of comments here. So I just want to like make sure that we handle, like, take any questions. Have to pick the right people for your tribe. Not everyone is the right fit. Totally agree with that. Touche, measure self by own goals. Yes. That was an amazing comment. I'll just clarify what my grandmother has been telling me my whole life. So we've got lots of, Erin, I want to know where the women's golf course is. So where's the women's golf course? Maybe one of you ladies can take that.
At the bar.
It's every golf course that's out there.
LPGA.
Everyone out there belongs to us.
That's right. We don't need a golf
share
course.
with people, the men really don't play well. It's a myth. They don't know what they're doing out there. They're just out there. And if you call the game and you say you want the game to be best shot, everyone's going to get one opportunity to be the best shot. You may be you may cut it one time, or, you might get lucky on your first. Just go out there and play and have a good time. I always share with them, I'm only going to play 9 holes. Then I'm going to go to the 19th hole and I'll see you later. Put your own little, cooler together with your mimosas, because, they start early. It's ridiculous. But, and just go do it.
I will also come and play because that's my go-to is I'm good for 8 or 9. And then it's silly for me.
I drive the I drive the beverage cart.
That's what I was going to
Another
say.
job that I used to do was
Yes,
drive the cart.
and I've done that before. Yes.
A little bit of everything over here. Jill of all
You
trades.
know, I've
Yeah.
gone and played golf when I should have gone to play golf. Like I went to the driving range, I tried it. Like I'm practicing here, and then I have to go out with this client because they insist we need to play golf. And I went out there, and it was just awful. It was embarrassing. And I was like, I'm never going to do this again because that wasn't an enjoyable experience for them, right? Like why do I could have suggested something else, and that's sort of one of those lessons learned throughout your career.
Yeah.
Is there are just some things that are just not going to be good experience all the way around.
So axe throwing.
And as long as the business is
Yeah.
good, as long as you close the deal before the 9th hole.
Yeah.
It's true. I mean,
Close the deal before the 9th.
I like what Hannah was saying though earlier about being authentically yourself. If you truly hate golf, then are you really being your authentic self by going? I mean, to me, suggest, like you said, Jen, like suggest something that you're going to be excited about that's going to fuel you and give you energy. I'm one of those rare people, I feel like, in a lot of scenarios where I don't really watch a lot of sports. I love to play sports. I love the game. My kids play sports. I've been around sports my whole life. I love it, but I have a hard time. Maybe it's ADD. I don't know, but I have a hard time sitting and watching a game from start to finish. I'll get up a million times, think of things to do. So I don't really follow a lot of it. So whenever I'm on calls and people are throwing out different names, I'm like, I don't know what they're talking about. I don't know who they're talking about. So I tend to put myself in scenarios or bring up things that I'm really passionate about, that I want to talk about. I listen, to what they're talking about. But, when it comes to the golf, I can't remember the last time I was on a golf course, and I've closed a lot of deals. So I think it's a matter of just being yourself and not trying to fake that you're enjoying something that you're really not enjoying.
No, and
Picture it, right? We were just like, okay, Mr. So-and-so, I know you're still contemplating this contract, but what I'd really like to do is invite you to this painting with a twist with me.
No,
practice painting.
Yeah. And when it's team building, like when you're talking about painting with a twist, team building things, then you just go out there and don't take it so serious and don't take yourself so serious.
Yeah.
Just go do it and have a good time.
Shannon, if you come with me to an underwater basket weaving session, I will hook you up.
Darling, I'm all in. Count me in. As soon as I can make my way over to you, I will be there. We will underweave basket. It's amazing. Underweave? I don't understand.
She's warming to you right now.
Well, she said tried like 90 times.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, this is hilarious.
So we said early on that everyone said tribe we were going to drink, but
Now I dumped it on me.
Yeah.
all right. So I think Michelle makes an excellent point here. Have some guys in my ride or die tribe too, and I do as well, because there are so many people out there, and you need to have different perspectives. Like I've got a group of people that when I'm running into a challenging situation, sometimes it's not my lady friends, it's those guys that I go to for advice, and I go, what do you guys think?
Yeah.
And they can provide me those insights that, are just different, because you need different perspectives. What do you think? How many guys in your tribe?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, I think you need to
Absolutely.
match your audience, right? You're gonna be working with and selling to customers of all different backgrounds and different cultures and different genders. And I think it's important to surround yourself as you find your tribe with that diversity so that you fully understand and you can relate to people. So, it doesn't, I mean, to me, it doesn't really matter, right? If it's a male or female, to me, it's what we can help each other with and how we can help each other grow.
No, totally agreed. We've got Jeanette here, who is pushing Toastmasters hard. I've done Toastmasters. I think it's a great organization. Thank you for dropping by and letting everyone know about Toastmasters. It is pretty great. How many of you ladies have done Toastmasters?
I've never done Toastmasters. I grew up in a small church. I grew up speaking in church. You know, it was like if someone didn't show up for something, your grandmother's going to hit you on the leg and say, go read the youth message, you know, go pray, go read the mail for the church.
Yeah.
That was my speaking training ground.
Damn,
Julie,
Julie.
Julie
Damn.
generated a company 18 million in revenue because of her tribe, or are we just drinking?
I think that's the part of the tribe that made that 18 mil. I think that's Jason that brought that in. That's a dude in my tribe. So there you go.
Well, you know,
he's crushing it.
Yeah. And Christine's got some balance. You've got lots of really good comments here. Tim says, you ladies are so awesome. This is such a great first experience. So I think, you know, let's see. Christine says, one of the best team builders I led was a paintball war.
Yeah.
Team builders. Oh, a paintball war. That, you know, that's a lot of fun. Women versus men. And guess which team won?
The women won.
The women won.
Yeah, for sure. The women won.
Good
Christine's going to have to tell us whether the women won, but I think the women won.
I think they did for sure.
I totally think so.
I was
So,
I'm like, if you gave me a gun, I'd be like, bang, and they're like, Shannon, you haven't even started yet. I'm like, I don't know how this works. Pew, 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 pew. I'll just like take the paint. I'm like, look, we can start painting, guys. If you come up with this with a twist.
We're going to roll that right into painting with the twist.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, Michelle, you shared about how you're finding your tribe, right? And or did you just join the conversation? I'm not sure.
I just jumped in. I'll keep it really short. I promise.
Okay.
You know, if you think about it, when you're a kid, right? Elementary school, middle school, you're not going to call it a tribe. You're not going to call it a tribe. You're going to call it a clique, right? You're going to call it a group, whatever. And so that takes on a certain meaning, right? And kids usually gravitate towards others that look like them or act like them or dress like them. You know, there's a strong commonality. There's a bond. There's something that is like an identifier, right? And this carries on in middle school and high school. And we're conditioned to believe, because we watch all of that as we're growing up in school, we're conditioned to believe that certain groups, certain tribes are cool and certain aren't. And we try to figure out where we fit in, like a jigsaw puzzle, like a puzzle piece. And so by the time we get out into the working world, we're already, especially women, we're already conditioned to be on our guard a little bit because we're trying to figure out our footing. We're trying to gauge where we belong and who we identify best with. So that already is almost like ingrained in us. And if you compound that with everything that we go through as women in the working world, with ageism, sexism, you know, inequality with pay, racism, social injustice, you know, just so many different things that we've been talking about for a long, long time. So if you take that and then you couple it with everything that we've learned over the years and been conditioned to believe as kids in school, that's why I think that's a big contributing factor to why women are very catty and they have their claws out. And you know, women tend to applaud for you or you applaud for them, you know, and it may not be consistent. It may just be at certain times. But that's why I believe, and I know Jen, you'll agree with me on this, that's why it's so important to develop your EQ skills, because you can take a step back and you can really look at things from a distance and you can really understand human behavior and really think, you know, pause before you make a judgment, before you judge and before you make a decision. But I also want to capitalize on what Hannah said with seasons. I don't believe that was it Hannah or Heidi? Maybe you both said it, but okay, well, I'll give you both the credit. I I really believe that the people that you find for your tribe, right, for your group, that might have worked for you a year ago, 6 months ago, 2 years ago, 10 years ago. But the same way that we're always evolving, our tribes are evolving too. You're growing, whether you see it or not, whether you realize it or not, you're growing. And so you're not the same person that you were 6 months ago, a year ago, 2, 3, 4 years ago. So it's okay that if the people in your tribe are not your tribe anymore, there's no reason why you can't still be close with them and work with them and have a great relationship. But if you're trying to level up continuously, it's not personal. There's nothing wrong with you going out and looking for new people for your tribe. It's not like you have to replace anyone and then ditch them. You're growing, you're expanding. And the people that are along the ride with you, they will stick by you. And if they fall off and never talk to you again, that's like a flag. Like, okay, well, this wasn't meant to be. And they were there for a season, not a reason. So yes, this is a long-winded answer, but I like to connect dots and I like to bring things together and try to understand, because I beat myself up all the time. And when I lose people, I get upset and I mourn them and I miss them. But it doesn't have to be that way. It just means that your immediate circle of influence, if there are people right now that are really having the best impact on you and you want to leverage that and capitalize on that and you feed on each other, there's nothing wrong with that. It's not personal. You just have to do what's best for you and your growth. So that's my long-winded comment, and I just wanted to get that off my chest.
I love that. Thank you. That is awesome.
Yeah,
totally agree.
I agree too.
Katie, I don't think you've told us your. I don't think Katie's shared. I don't think she's told us.
I'm the end.
Yeah.
Oh, well, how can you?
Uniting my time. Taking notes.
You're way too quiet. You're way too quiet.
Skipping me over here, but that's okay. I'm a middle child. I get it.
But we've been talking, and we got the tribe thing going.
I'm out of my drink. Y'all drop tribe too much. I'm out. And then
Go refill.
I'm gonna take a tour of my not great kitchen right now. I'm gonna
5 minutes. Go refill.
Yeah, you can go refill. You want to go
Well, I
refill?
can fill my drink. Pardon?
Okay. So yeah, Jonathan, who happens to be my tribe, Jonathan, totally my tribe, mentioning Breakfast Club Day is today. And so that's funny that you mentioned the clicks, and Jonathan brought it in with the Breakfast Club, which I love. That's just one of my favorite movies, just forever. So Shannon, share with us, how do you find your tribe?
Okay. Well, first, I just want to say that as if my personal tribe through the years seem to recognize through the energies through the universe from literally all over the world. In the 45 minutes we've all been talking, I've had 4 missed calls from all of my friends who none of them know each other, but literally my friend in China, a friend down in Florida, I have another friend in Canada. Everybody's just called me in this time. I'm like, did you guys know I'm like, do you happen to call during the 1 hour? Not available. So it's kind of neat that this tribe thing is out there right now. But Jen, you asked me if I would come up with a song or a ditty, and things have been really a lot's been going on for me, so I didn't get the chance. However, I was very inspired by what everyone wrote, everyone said, and by what the comments have been saying. And in the time that we've been talking, I actually wrote something. So forgive me for not having tried this out. This is fresh as of this hour.
You need us to give you a beat or something?
Please do not. No. I do not do well with a beat. Let's see how it works. Finding my tribe, we got a vibe. Who I'd want to subscribe to. Maybe hard to describe too. Little bits of my soul come together. We're birds of a feather. We're better this way. Go-getters who stay. Soul birds, we rise. We ride the highs and the lows, though. Where it leads, who knows? It's not just people like me, but those who inspire me, who come in and complete me. An older vision or a mini me. We go together to celebrate with the power to elevate. It feels so great, not like there's too much on my plate. So my tribe is anywhere I want to be, local or overseas. If you want to be in my tribe, come on over and find me.
Oh my God.
That is a lyrical miracle.
That was so awesome.
So that was.
I thought I was going to do the ugly cry. Oh my gosh.
That was really good.
I saw, I just like listening to what you guys were saying, and to what I've been reading in the comments, I was like, you guys are actually all rhyming and you're not hearing it. And I'm like, how is nobody capturing this? Literally, like if you go there, thank you guys. Yes, it was a freestyle. And that was like a little homage also to some, I don't know if anybody knows, but India Ari is like my girl. So Soul Birds Rise, like she's my jam. If you don't know India Ari, I highly recommend you go check her out. She is just all the feel goods, you know? As for finding my tribe, it's very interesting. You know, I am single, not have any kids. These are my children, my little plants over here. That's the equivalent of like what it takes to take care of things in my life, right? I've been a lot of Lil Kim, been a lot of places, seen a lot of faces, and I'll leave it there. But I for those who know, they know. I've lived around the world. I've been in quite a few industries and jobs. I'm not your average bear, and so it's been very difficult to find my tribe in person. And it's actually been both a blessing and a curse, but more so a blessing for me to have this remote working situation, because it finally gave me the chance to be who I am on a platform like LinkedIn, where I get to connect with people, where I'm not worried about, oh, are they literally here in Chicago where I live, and how are we going to meet up and have drinks? But or just to connect. And now I'm getting to connect with people all over the country, all over the world. And, you know, my cousin and I were just talking about this. She moved to Ohio and she's just like, I don't know how to make friends here. And I'm like, I get you. Being in your 30s and trying to make friends, but it's like, I was like, you should totally tune in tonight. It's literally about, though, finding the people that, like I said, that inspire you, that you have a moment with, whether it's, you know, somebody's posting something. If you're just seeing something that just clicks for you, engage, put it out there, try to make that connection. And and send a message saying, man, this really this resonated with me, and why. And they'll respond or they won't. Maybe they'll be something, thanks. Cool. Appreciate that thought out response. And then there are others, you know, people who send me messages. I usually try and give a thought out response. It doesn't always happen that way, but that's just what I would put out there for those who don't really have the people around them. You know, I've been in Chicago for a year and a half, and a year of it has been in COVID. I'm the kind of person, though, who will walk up to a random stranger and just start talking. And I did that with my neighbor I saw in the hallway as she was like trying to take her groceries. And I'm like, hey, neighbor, be my friend. And now we are. But for those of you who might be like feeling in that space, kind of alone, take a step. And I know it's not easy for a lot of people, but it doesn't take a lot just to take a connection and find the thing that relates or works for you, you know? I've got a good tribe here. You know, Jen, you've been extremely helpful in helping me with my network and introducing me to some really wonderful people. And I'm noticing that a lot of circles, we're very much Venn diagramming here, where, you know, a lot of us are coming together and we're in the same space.
We are Venn diagramming. Like I know all the circles of all of the people who are here. Exactly. And how they all interact with other people I know. And it's sort of amazing to think of and look at. But I swear you gave me goosebumps and it made me all teary. So thank you so much for that. Folks are saying that you need to post it. So you're going to, at some point,
record it and post it and go through all.
Yes, because that was so amazing.
Thank you, love. Thank you.
And I didn't want to put any pressure on you for a song, but that was like,
it was good.
It was so
awesome.
Good.
Sometimes things just.
Did you really think she wasn't going to drop the beat? Come on. I my fingers were crossed that you would. I'm so glad you did.
Michelle, I didn't know if I was going to. I literally was just like, I didn't come prepared for this.
Yes, you did, because every time we said tribe, you were swigging.
Yeah.
So.
Creativity flowing.
I can't even reach my mouth to straw.
Wait till everything opens. There is going to be a love fest between all of us that I don't even know what. we're gonna get arrested for like jumping on each other and like smushing each other.
What if we did a LinkedIn Live
Oh God,
Yes.
Napa
Well,
style?
Jen, you just created a tribe right here.
we would have
Oh
to
yeah, no, like
take over an entire amusement park, like only for LinkedIn.
I am an amusement park. Let's go.
That's it.
yeah, no, we're gonna take the laptop on the road with our tribe and like go places. It's gonna be like LinkedIn Live on the move.
No, we have to create some like crazy
Right.
hashtag and like just blow it out. That would be so much fun.
It's gonna
Me with a good time.
I would add on to what Shannon said, because sometimes it is hard to sort of step out of your comfort zone and find those people, but it is so worth it. And so if there's anyone watching or following along and you need a tribe, you need some people, let's, connect with me, shoot me a DM. I will hook you up with some people and we'll find you a tribe. I'll find you people who are like-minded. And so you can always hit me up. You can hit up Shannon because she responds to her DMs. She does. Yes. Yeah. Julie responds. I think everyone on this panel, if you are joining us and you need someone just for support or an ear or anything, we're all here. Kate Ray.
I've been thinking of fabulous quotes.
Well,
to end with, you never travel alone, or I don't know. But alas, so I want to add on, there's a really good comment in here. I'm so sorry, I may say your name wrong. Nagar, and it says, we all truly attract like-minded people. And so I think kind of touching on a lot of what many of you have said of like, take the chance, right? Because it's really easy. And this is something for me, I personally struggle with. Like, I'm a very outgoing and like cheery person, but inside I am like always shaking in my boots and I get scared very frequently for like introducing myself to people, which you wouldn't think, but like it's very difficult for me. And I really have to challenge myself. And so I think it's just a really good reminder of like, if that's what you want, like you have to be willing to grow as a person yourself and like make that first step. So I think that's super interesting. But I will say it has, similar to Shannon, it has not been the easiest for me. I've been remote for almost 3 years now. And so it's just really easy to make work my life. And like, I do my job, I turn my computer off, I eat dinner, work a little bit more and go to bed. Like, I have a great husband and we've got some friends and like, that's great. But it's Monday through Thursday. Like that's really what I do. And I realized like I was really unfulfilled. And so I started connecting with people that were either influencers or like I just constantly saw on my feed. And I realized that they may not be the right people for where I am. And that's totally okay. But it's just something that like I wish someone would have shared with me. It was like, it's totally okay to take time finding people to surround yourself with, because it's really easy to be really lonely. You post on LinkedIn, you message some people and you're like, oh yeah, like we're gonna do happy hours, this is fun. And then you realize you've given up so much of your time that's taking away from your job, and your work is suffering and your personal relationships are suffering, because you found this group of people that you think you align with. And the more and more you get to know them, you're like, oh my gosh, like this is not what I want. Right. And so like using Heidi's strategies with the, was it 5 F's of like really figuring out what that looks like and having a way to discern around like the people who you should surround yourself with, I think is so important, because it's really easy to get caught up in this idea of like, oh, I've got all these friends now. And it just reminds me of college. Like there's a big difference between my girlfriends to go to the bars with and then like my close friends who I held close to my chest. Right. And so I think being able to understand like what that difference is, and being brave enough to say that like, you want to end that relationship with those people too, because all of it's really stressful, right? Like you think you've just taken all this time to find these people, and then you realize that they're not the right people for where you're at. And then you now have to say like, ooh, I want to kind of break up with you as a friend. Like, well, how do you do that? You know, that's awkward and weird, and you're already challenging yourself enough. So that's my golden nuggets of non-sensory.
Well, no, you make complete sense. I wouldn't say non-sensory, but you're right. So you can attract people, right, and start building these relationships, but look, there are only so many hours in the day, and so much time to invest. And where do you invest your time and your energy, and while still keeping your relationships close? I mean, it's an important thing to consider, like where you're going to invest your time and where you're able to give and get, right? And but I think for each individual person, it's different. And Heidi did bring up some excellent points on, whether it's a season as well as Michelle, or whether it's a temporary sort of thing, or it's something that's long lasting. But
we all don't have the same 24 hours. I've heard that.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry if you disagree with me. Not you ladies, but it's just one of those.
I disagree with you.
Okay. But no, seriously, I'm sorry, but my 24 hours is not the same as everybody else's. We all live different lives. We all have different responsibilities. Some have children, some are caretakers, some, we just don't. So there are just certain ideals and certain comments and just certain things that are put out there. And I even see people posting about it. And I'm not going to engage and, cause a fight or anything, but it's just mine. I own it. It's my belief. We all do not have the same 24 hours because some people could spend like 16 of them and it really feels like 8. And then some people could spend 8 and it feels like 16. So I think it's an understanding that we all have very different lifestyles, but if we find a common denominator where we get along and we build each other up and we support each other, not just when we're winning, but even when we're losing. I love rooting for the underdog. It's like I take it on like it's a mission. Like, oh yeah, come on, let's go. Because it's so easy to root for the people that are always winning, right? But the people that are losing and that like are really down, you're like, oh no, come on, I'm gonna help you out. Let's go. But we all, back to what I was saying, we all don't have the same 24 hours. And I just wanted to put that out there.
And whenever you find someone who takes the time to truly understand your 24 hours, you have found a golden nugget. Because it's so rare. And we all have probably been through situations like that where I think somebody said like a energy sucker or a time sucker, where they just want to pull your energy away instead of it being a reciprocal relationship. And I think that's probably why I think personally, as I've gotten older, sometimes my tribe's gotten smaller in a lot of ways, because I'm kind of done with the BS of having so many friends, like you said, the popularity. I just want to have the right ones that I can pour my heart into, and they can do the same. And we have each other's back, and we're there during the ugly cries, and we're there during the happy celebrations. Those are the really special people, and you want to grab onto them and hold them forever.
And if you're always clapping for certain people and building them up and there for the good and the bad, and you don't get it back, done. Okay. I'm not, like at what point do you look in the mirror and say, I'm an idiot? Like it's at least 30-70. You're not getting 10-90. Like at what point are you like, I'm a sucker, right? Like so it's give and take. I don't know if you ladies, create your own invitations, like just personalized invitations. I performed a little test, and over the course of a month, I try 90% of the time to personalize my invites, even if it's just one sentence, just so they know that I didn't just click, and I'm not going to say that I've never just requested, I have, we all have, but it's amazing. After 30 days, I noticed that most of the people that rejected or just didn't answer my requests were women. And these were all personalized invites. So that's that. Without even commenting, there's so much that could be said about that, because women are usually just kind of like, well, like, whoa, you know, like, so I want to change that, because there's so many people like us that we're so genuine, and we just want to meet more women and form tribes and create relationships and find things in common. And it's like ingrained in us, like, whoa, you know.
Well, it's like what Hannah said about, you know, sometimes you kind of got to do like a sub post or like a sub comment, like a sub tweet, you know, and try to see, all right, who aligns with me, and I'm going to throw you a like. And now I'm like, you know, you realize, oh, okay, got it, you know, and it is kind of a shame that sometimes you have to sort of, you know, put your feelers out there, and maybe that's just something as sort of women we've maybe had to do that and keep our guard up, because we think other women are kind of even like this and for reputations. But I think, just as we've all been saying, kind of being open to it, and, you know, allowing different perspectives. And hey, to be honest with you, sometimes Katie, sometimes it's good to just have your bar friends and be like, you are my bar friends.
Yeah.
Let's go get tequila.
Let's go.
All
Never
right.
let you down.
You know, and you're like,
finding out.
yes.
Nothing wrong with that. I got bar friends.
Exactly. And kind of just going, hey, you know what? Different people are going to fulfill different aspects of my life, and no one's going to monopolize my time. Hell no, that's mine. But, you know, just going, okay, you know, you've got different tiers and everybody's just at a different spot. And I absolutely agree with normalizing ending relationships and ending friendships. Hey, the book isn't done. The chapter's just over. And you always get to go back and refer to that and go, look at these amazing times, look at the hardships. And that's still written in there. That book isn't closed. You're just on a different page. That's how I've always seen it.
Julie, I actually just finally got through to this. I got this through to myself. Man, that drink was great. Good job. I'm stumbling over my words. I actually was going through this year. It was part of my resolutions was to let go of some of the toxicity. How did I manage that word out of everything? Cool. I started to let go of toxic relationships and toxic interactions with people. And what was interesting is, you know, the go about of how to do that, because it's never easy to break up with someone. You know, you can't just send them a breakup email being like swan song, but it's like, this is someone you've had some time with.
Sex in the City?
Pardon?
Post it. Sex in the City? Come on.
Oh my gosh. That would be.
To post it. Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, I think you can tell who is real.
Yeah.
Who is real, who is genuine, who genuinely will show up for you if you need them to. Now, we all get busy, right? Who, like, if you call them, even though we're all busy, you say, this is the time I need to just talk, and they're there. You know what I mean? Where you don't necessarily need to talk for weeks or a month. You just, hey, I need a conversation. You know who those people are. You know who the people who are real and genuine, who really are there. And embracing that, I think, is super important. So we're already over time. I'm going to leave it to you ladies. If anyone's got any final thoughts, because like anyone who wants to hop over into Clubhouse, I'm going to go check how Lydia's doing over there. I really hope she's not by herself going, Jen, why am I doing this? No.
I was going to say, just to kind of close around on Michelle's point about sending out personalized invites, right? And people just being like, I'm not too sure. So it's unfortunate that women, or some of us as women, have that just kind of, I guess, the early days where we're just so like, oh, your competition, right? Just immediately. So I was going to kind of push you to the side. But I think Jason or Jonathan made a really valid point about when it comes to finding tribes, we can't prejudge. And when it comes to platforms like LinkedIn, as humans, we're really visual. So we take in a lot through our eyes, right? And if I immediately see you as an invite and I don't like your hair or you don't look like me, which, you know, when it comes to tribal stuff, it's about sharing likeliness. And often that's through our eyes, what we see. And we have to actually kind of challenge that kind of innate behavior and think, okay, I need to not judge you. And I just need to accept you into my space and then learn about you and see if we're aligned. It's really easy to just click, remove connection. But rather than do that, because you could find your next best friend, your next business partner, your next customer, your next whatever. And we would rather just be like, I'm not interested, than just see if there's a chance that there could be a mutual value in actually interacting with someone. And that's a massive shame. But that's just because of how we are as humans. So we do actually have to go against the grain to think, okay, you don't look like me. I don't feel like you'd be someone that I'd usually reach out to, like naturally. But what I have found is a lot of the people that DM me, I would have never, ever thought of connecting with them. And like, oh my God, I love your videos. I follow you on everything. Every time you speak, I'm there. I'm like, dude, didn't even know, never heard of you before. But see, those things are interesting. And that's because I'm so open to accepting everyone. I'm just like, cool, like you connected with me, I'm here. Let's just go for it.
How many times have you ladies heard, oh my God, when I first met you, I thought you were such a bitch. And I'm like, putting like a switch, like, well, that's your problem.
A lot.
Right?
A lot.
Like, so
My serious face as well.
Judging, it's like,
A
what
lot.
led you to believe that? Like, I'm such a cornball. Like, really? But that's just that's the whole, like, those are the things that are ingrained that, like, Hannah, what you said, you have to proactively try to change that and get rid of that. We're not born with that. We're conditioned like that. And it doesn't have to stay like that. And when we work hard to let go of that, the possibilities are endless. And then we end up having friends and people that were, inducted into our tribe from all over the world. I mean, how amazing is that? I think that's incredible. So
it is. And I'm just so excited about meeting all the different people that I've been meeting. I've been embraced by India and China and Singapore, which I visited before and I love, and a lot of new friends in Canada. And, and for people that feel that way, it's really on them. I've dealt with that all my life, and it's just on you. All I can do is wake up and be the best choice every day.
Yep.
Right. Even on LinkedIn, I try to respond. Sometimes I have fallen asleep at night with my iPad hitting me in the face because I've had so many notes on LinkedIn or Instagram, and I'm trying to just respond to everyone. Yeah. Even if they're just trying to sell me something, I want to give them the courtesy of saying no, thank you. Because you never know where that connection, you may meet those people somewhere where you have a flat tire or whatever. You just never know where you're going to meet people or how they can serve your life and how you can serve theirs. And when they don't, when some people get so much rejection, sometimes I'll send someone a note at 2 a.m. and they'll respond right back and they'll be like, oh, but thank you for responding, because no one else has responded.
Yep.
And sometimes it's hard. I'll admit, sometimes I get a day or two behind, but I try to sit and just respond to every request, every person that connects to me. I try to send a note and say, thank you for connecting.
Yeah.
That's a wonderful courtesy. I mean, really it is. Well, this has been amazing. Thank you so much, ladies. Shannon, thank you.
Tribe.
You have to record it.
Yeah.
I'll do tomorrow. I'm gonna try this tonight. I'm gonna get canned dry thing. I have a swordfish that's waiting for me to consume it. So excited. Thank you, Jen. And
thank you, Jen, for coming through.
Always
Thank
fun.
you so much.
Always.
Yes, definitely.
thank you, everybody.
It's fun, ladies. Go to bed, Hannah.
Herman. So hopefully you will join me for that on Tuesdays at noon Eastern. Some people are still here. And then later in April, I've got Ladies Happy Hour Mom Life on April 21st. So thank you everyone who joined us. I'm going to hit the comments and hop in Clubhouse, and thank you so much. I will make sure to reply to as many people in these comments as possible.
You girls are awesome. I'm so like, my cup is filled right now. I'm like,
Oh,
I feel
yeah.
so,
Now bucket is full.
come on, Transresha.
Like my heart, my cup, my bucket, all of it's full. So thank you.
Yeah, this was
grateful.
such a good group.
Thank
I
you.
love it. Have a good night, everyone.
Bye.
Night.
Bye.